the enemy's public. Peace. This is the enemy's public, and I am Bro.Nasir. I knew when I seen the picture of Kim Potter smiling ear to ear on a mugshot, I knew she wasn't going to receive a lengthy sentence for the murder of Daunte Wright. Kim Potter received 2 years in prison for murder. She claimed she mistakenly pulled out her service weapon and she thought she was going for her taser when a taser is supposed to be positioned in a cross-draw position and a taser is in fluorescent colors. Also, a taser fires nothing like a gun. Kim Potter, she claimed she drew a gun instead of a taser and fatally shot Daunte Wright during a traffic stop. She was sentenced on Friday to 2 years in prison. Why do traffic stops end up with unarmed people being shot and killed? This sentence comes nearly 2 months after Potter was convicted of first-degree and second-degree manslaughter. How can you be convicted of first-degree and second-degree manslaughter and receive 2 years in prison when you only have to do a certain percentage of that 2 years? That means probably by the end of this year or the beginning of next year, she'll be walking out of prison for murder. Prosecutors had requested 7 years and 2 months while Potter's attorneys argued for a lesser sentence, pointing to her lack of prior criminal history and remorse for Wright's death, which is a bit of nonsense. The police are a criminal enterprise, and for her to receive 2 years is criminal itself. Remorse my ass. And I've seen so many people who had no priors get the book thrown at them. And not only that, a FTO officer should have been handled a whole lot more drastic, and they should have received a stiffer sentence. The fact that she was a field training officer and the fact that she was a 20-plus year veteran on the force with the Brooklyn Center Police Department, she should have been handled not with kid gloves. This is something you give a child who probably was caught with weed or something. You give that child, the first time offender, you give that child that type of sentence. But for a FTO, a field training officer, to murder someone and she's going to do less than a year in prison or a year and a half in prison, she probably going to do 16 months according to state law. With good behavior, she would be eligible for supervised release for the remaining third of her sentence. Winnipeg judge Regina Chu called the sentence an extremely difficult decision. She sat there and she made that decision, and it didn't look difficult to me as far as I seen. In justifying it, she pointed to several mitigating factors, saying it was undisputed that Potter never intended to use her gun. Chu told the court she took into account the 4 reasons for incarceration, retribution. This makes absolutely no sense. And she stood there reading to the family of Dante Wright. If you are expressing remorse for your actions, you wouldn't have to write it down. You would just say it. Yet, she stood there doing the same dry cry as Kyle Rittenhouse. As a matter of fact, she looks like Kyle Rittenhouse with a wig on. And she got 2 years for murdering a young brother at a traffic stop. It seemed as if the officer she was training had the situation under control. She intervened, pulled out her weapon, and shot the brother, resulting in his death. And she received 2 years, and a mother had to bury her son, and a child is without its father. That is America's justice. The police are tyrants. They are a gang. They are a criminal enterprise. And they do nothing but protect each other. They're not here to serve and protect. They are here to get us to do what they want us to do. They are here to keep their feet on black people's neck. And the situation that happened in Bridgewater, New Jersey at Bridgewater Commons Mall is letting us know they are coming for our children. Victims of police brutality and police murder are getting younger and younger. Over in Colorado, they had a 6-year-old laying face down on the ground with a gun to the back of her head. So don't tell me they're not coming for our children. And they had, in that situation, they had about 4 more little girls laying down face down on the ground with guns to the back of their head. And they committed no crimes. Obviously was unarmed. But that's what they do to our children. And if we don't stand up and get between them and our children, they're going to start slaughtering our children. We need to get between them and our children. And any man, especially men, who is not willing to die for his child is a coward. If you're not willing to die for your child, you're a coward. Now, I can understand if your child out here being reckless, you pull your child and tell your child, look, you can't be out here acting reckless because I'm your dad and you're going to pull me into some bullshit. Fly straight. So therefore, I can defend you easily. When your child is right and your child is not doing wrong in the community, keeping their nose clean, you're supposed to defend your child at all costs and not allow any harm to come to your child. This is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.